there, it's Natasha with Nursing Our Travel Bug. I am coming to you today from the Yale campus here in Connecticut because we are wrapping up our current contract here at Yale. Now it's time to start looking for the next contract. The area that we're looking at actually doesn't have any travel contracts available for the hospitals in that area. So we are going to have to go off script and try and get a contract on our own without an agency. So this video is going to show you how we got a contract without our agency. The first thing you have to do is build up your resume. This is the 10th state I've worked in, so I have at least 10 hospitals that I've contracted with. How in the world does one put 10 hospitals on your resume? Well, I'm going to show you how. Here's an example of my resume. The first thing you have to do is put your name and your contact information on there. You want the hospitals to have a way to get a hold of you. The next thing that you need to do is place a professional summary. Your professional summary needs to be a snapshot of who you are as a nurse. For me, it includes how long I've been a nurse, so 7 years. It includes the type of units that I've worked in. You want to include the hospital types, how many beds they had, and whether or not it's a teaching. You also want to include the type of charting systems that you've used. All of this information put together really shows your range of experience and how flexible you are in your nursing profession. The next bullet is your education. This one's pretty simple. Just list the college that you earned your degree at. The next part of your resume is your work experience. Now this is going to be the meat and potatoes of your resume. Again, you're going to have to summarize your experience working as a travel nurse. You can't list every single hospital that you've ever worked for because it'll be really cumbersome and it'll be impossible to fit all onto one sheet of paper. What I did was I highlighted my experience. I've personally worked with one travel company, so I was able to list them as my employer. I also listed all of the states that I was contracted in. Again, it shows my flexibility. I listed all of the unit types that I worked in, and then I have bullet points of all of the different skills that I used as a nurse on those different units. The last piece of your resume is your license. I listed all of the states that I was licensed in, my license number, and the expiration date, but I also included any certifications such as NIHSS, BLS, and ACLS. So that's how you build a resume. Easy peasy. The next thing you have to do before you can land that next contract is come up with a cover letter. Most employers want a resume as well as some kind of a letter explaining who you are and what you're looking for in a job. And your cover letter should say just that. The first thing I showed in my cover letter was just spelling out what it is I was looking for as a travel nurse. For me, I'm looking for some kind of a seasonal position that I can come back to every single year. The next thing you do is, again, summarize all of your experience in your own words. Next, you want to list your positive highlights. These are the good things about you. These are your strengths. Don't be afraid to talk yourself up. You've got to sell yourself, right? Next, you want to list all of your accolades. Whether it happens to be some positive feedback you've received from your coworkers, some positive feedback you've received from your patients, or any special nominations or awards you've received. For me, I was nominated Employee of the Quarter by my travel company, and I was also nominated for a Daisy Award 3 times. Those are definitely selling features that give me a cutting edge. The last piece of your cover letter is, of course, the closing. I always close with a thank you, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Now that you have your resume and your cover letter, you need to get your information out there. The first thing I did was call these local hospitals. I called the HR department. Unfortunately, these hospitals are pretty large and they have a process for all of their new employees. I wasn't able to talk to a recruiter or an HR representative directly over the telephone. I was referred to their online website. So I had to hop online to their website and look at their career page. I lucked out with a couple of hospitals. On their career page, they actually had a link for me to send my email and my resume to their talent acquisition department. So I sent them my newly made resume and cover letter, and I just waited for them to call me. Well, I really thought that I would be receiving some calls by now, but that was not the case. So I decided to go back to the job page and just start submitting for jobs that would kind of be similar to what I was looking for. I submitted to things I had experience in, like step down and telemetry. I even did a couple of med-surg positions, as well as the float pool. Now this is really what got the ball rolling. I did a lot of my job search on Friday and Saturday. By Monday, I was already receiving emails and phone calls from the HR recruiters. So definitely applying for jobs was what brought them in. The first point of contact came from the HR representative. They were mostly just getting general information about what kind of job I was looking for, what kind of pay I was looking for, and the kind of position that I was in. So again, even though it was listed in my cover letter, I had to explain to them that I was looking for a seasonal position and that it was something that I was hoping I could come back to every single year. Now, none of the hospitals I submitted to, of course, had any job opening that fit into the realm of what I was looking for. So they had to do a little bit of research, and they had to have some discussions with their HR directors or their nurse recruiters. So my information was passed on to the next person. Then I started receiving emails and phone calls from nurse recruiters. Again, I would go into my spiel about what I was looking for. I would list my work experience, and they would talk about whether or not I'd be a good fit for their organization. Finally, the last step in this job application process was the actual interview. I had 3 phone call interviews, and I even did 1 video interview. At the end of all of my interviews, everyone seemed really interested in hiring me. However, they didn't have a position that suited what I was looking for. I was told that they would have to speak to their director or go back to HR to see if they could create a position for me because they were really excited to have me work for their organization. Now this process took a little while longer. It probably took another 5 to 7 days before I heard back from anybody after the interviews. In the end, I received 3 different job offers from 3 different institutions that were all within about 30 to 45 minutes of my target area. My next step was negotiation. All 3 hospitals sounded fabulous. All 3 units sounded really good to work for. They all had pretty similar nurse to patient ratios, nurses aide to patient ratios, things like that. So really it kind of boiled down to brass tacks. Show me the money. Now with this particular contract that we were looking for, we had to get one that was actually fully taxed because we had to change our tax home. More information about the importance of a tax home and how to change your tax home will be coming to you soon in an upcoming video. But for now, because we were changing this tax home, I had to have all of my wages fully taxed. We had a certain dollar amount that we needed to make as a minimum in order to have enough money to essentially pay for all of our expenses. After all 3 interviews, we received 2 job offers. The first offer I received from Hospital A was about $4 an hour shy of our minimum mark. The second offer I received from Hospital B was actually $2 an hour more than what I was expecting, and they were offering a completion bonus. I hadn't heard anything yet from Hospital C, so I reached out to the HR personnel and let them know that I had interviewed with other candidates and that I had received 2 other offers. So she had to go back to her HR director to see if they could come up with an offer for me. In the end, Hospital 3 did come back with an offer, and boy, what an offer it was. I was utterly flabbergasted at Hospital C's offer. They offered me $10 an hour more than our base minimum that we were hoping to get. Plus, they offered me a sign-on bonus that was double the completion bonus offered by Hospital B. At that point, we had two moves to make. We could go back to the other hospitals and let them know of the higher offers and have everybody go into a bidding war over me, or we could just graciously accept the fabulous offer we received from Hospital C and thank our lucky stars and praise God for a fabulous offer. We didn't want to seem greedy, and all of the hospitals seemed to be pretty much on an even playing field. So in the end, we went with the offer from Hospital C. Not only are we excited to have an awesome amount of pay and bonus pay for signing up with this hospital, but we're most excited about the opportunity to build a relationship with this hospital so that we can come back to this area every year. Why is that important, you ask? Well, we travel in an RV, so we try to chase the seasons. And this job opportunity gives me the chance to build a relationship with this hospital so that I have guaranteed work every year. So in conclusion, you can get your own contract as a travel nurse. It's just going to take some time, some planning, and some organization, but it can be done. Now, on the flip side, there are some cons to going it on your own without your travel company. For one, you won't have a company that has your back. If something happens with the contract and it gets canceled, you're on your own. Two, you won't have any benefits. I personally have medical insurance as well as 401k, so that'll be on hold while I'm taking this other contract directly with the hospital. And we'll have to look for some other medical coverage in the interim. Also, the onboarding process is a little bit more difficult. I'll still have to get a physical, drug screening, things like that. But my travel company makes it easy because I can go to any clinic nationwide to get those things done. With this being a local hospital and being much smaller, I'm actually going to have to be in town in order to get that done, which is going to delay starting work. But of course, there's a bonus to getting your own contract directly and cutting out the middleman. The biggest being pay. So just be aware, there are going to be some positive aspects and some negative aspects when you get a contract on your own. We're really excited with this new opportunity and to see where this contract goes. Stay tuned, we'll keep you updated. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found the tips useful and that it gives you the confidence to get out and get your own travel contract. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you want to see all of the latest videos, hit that notification bell. This has been Natasha with Nursing Our Travel Bug. Thanks for watching. So where are we going to next? Waco, Texas!